wiser as an educated advisor. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and money color commentator. On today's show, the education process of banking, part 4 in our series on Your Family Bank with Paul Bechtold. So let's get down to business. Well, welcome to segment 4, Paul.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay, well, now if you haven't watched this in succession, I highly recommend watch it in chronology. Segment 1, 2, and 3. You're in segment 4. We're talking now about what kind of learning curve is this? And believe you me, sometimes people want to take time out to learn this from the ground up. And you offer, with your partner, Gordon Marketing, you guys offer an actual 2-day boot camp, right? I mean, how is it? I mean, it's not like Marine Corps, but it's 2-day boot camp on infinite banking concept. And of course, in more specific, Your Family Bank.
That is correct. Anybody that wants to sell the Your Family Bank concept has to go through a 2-day certification class in St. Augustine, Florida at Your Family Bank home office. It's conducted by the founder of the program, Larry McLean. And it is kind of like Marine Boot Camp to a degree, like you say, Steve. You're going to feel like you got drowned by a fire hose. Mm-hmm. So our generation of bringing agents into this is we want to first go out and we want to tickle an agent with the concept and generate some interest. We then usually want to drive them to a couple of different webinars. Larry does a national webinar specific for Gordon Marketing bi-monthly through Gordon Marketing, and I kind of co-host that with him.
Is that live?
It's a live webinar. Wow. And we talk about all things YFB. We talk about the need for it. We talk about what it can do for the client. We talk about it both for clients and business owners. Business owners can be huge for this as well.
Well, let's stop you there. I was pretty cool in the first 3 segments on the consumer aspect. Now you're saying, oh, no, this is applicable for business owners. Give me just a small reason why that is.
Well, business owners have debt. Business owners are going to be able to pay their debt off in a record amount of time, just like a consumer is. And the biggest thing we talk about when I approach a business owner is, hey, Joe, listen, if I could show you how to eliminate your debt, free up your cash flow, create more flexibility for your business, and also potentially improve your tax situation, would that be something worth talking about? So what business owner doesn't want more flexibility and cash flow in his business? So cash flow is kind of king to a business owner because it allows them to do so much more. Also, with a business owner, we're able to take advantage of a couple other things that we can't with an individual or family. One is it's a much larger cash flow running through his business. So business owner might have $500,000 of cash flow or revenue running through his business a month, peeling off a little bit of that to create a business banking concept. The other thing is when we can put things like maybe our home mortgage or our automobile through the business, aren't we effectively paying for that with tax-free money, right? Or pre-tax money versus after-tax money. So I'm able to take advantage of some things there, but ultimately a business is going to be worth more when it's debt-free than when it's carrying debt on it, right? Also just happens to seamlessly blend right into some other things that we need in order to properly protect a business succession plan, a key man, a buy-sell agreement, maybe a golden handcuffs for a key employee, deferred compensation, executive bonus, and so forth.
So there's a lot of applications on the corporate side of this.
Absolutely. You can knock 5 or 6 or 8 birds off with one stone with this type of approach for a business owner versus an individual client. And by the way, for the agent, our average business case starts at about $20,000 of commission on up.
Now, when I'm thinking about walking into a small business having an impact on that, I think the employer would probably in turn allow you to address his employees on their debt. It seems like a 1-2 punch that's pretty natural.
That's exactly right. In fact, both of our carriers that we partner with have agreed to do payroll deductions as an employee benefit as well. So you hit the nail on the head. We first start with the business owner. We start with them both personally and in their business, and then we show them how they can offer their employees the same benefit. Because one of the conversations I ask of a business owner is this: what's your employee's favorite benefit? Isn't it their paycheck, right? Well, maybe you don't want to give them more money in their paycheck, but if I free up their cash flow and eliminate their debt, don't they have more spendable income now? Okay, so it's a win-win-win for everybody.
Now, this could be actually another new benefit. If I'm trying to get inside a business, everybody's showing 401k. Everybody's talking about ancillary morbidity products like, cancer or chronic health or whatever. Now we're bringing, or disability. Now we're bringing a whole new idea. Most of the 501c3 seminars I've done over my life, when you get inside a company, it's blue collar and they need debt management. I mean, it's the lead issue.
That's exactly right. It's educating people about their finances. It's educating them that it's not an income problem. It's about what you do with that income and how to be more efficient with it. And ultimately, when an employer does that, he has a happy, healthier, more productive employee that has less stress in their life, and he's going to be able to retain. Okay,
so let's talk about go back to the boot camp here for a second. So I'm going to go to boot camp, right? I'm going to try to get my head around this in 48 hours, right? Sounds like a pretty intense time.
Yeah.
When I get down there, we have right now the number one product in the United States is Index Universal Life. It just is. We're going to go, it sounds like we're going retro here, right? Because we're using dividend participating whole life. Okay, so do you walk through the mechanics of this product? Now, I was brought up in the 80s with participating whole life, so I'm there already. But most of our younger agents, age 50 on down, have no idea. They've been using UL variations from variable to indexing to interest paying. Is that an issue you have to address in boot camp?
It is to a degree. It's not only about the product, okay, and the reason we have to use, whole life, as we talked about before, is we have to have the guarantee that that an IUL or UL does not provide, okay. Also, an IUL or UL has an increasing cost of insurance over time, so that becomes a secondary issue as well. But it's not only the product that we use and why we use it, but it's also the proper structure of that product. We want to structure our contracts so that, being that it's life insurance, we buy the most minimal amount of death benefit. We want the maximum amount of cash accumulation over time so that we can most efficiently eliminate that debt. And we also want high liquidity in the early part of the contract. In the boot camp, the product is only a very small sliver of what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk more about the why we need to do it, our audience that we're going to go bring this to, the sales process, the conversation that we have.
How to use the software that's going to show this in front of a client.
Exactly. The software, how we generate the debt report, how we close the sale and all that. So it's more about the sales aspect of it and teeing the opportunity up with the client, showing them the why as much as the how it's done.
Now, I leave boot camp, and a lot of guys are excited, and I can see why. What about ongoing education and support?
Well, we really have two ways we can go about that, specifically with Gordon Marketing, where my partnership with Randy and Gordon Marketing really took a foothold. Is we developed a proprietary platform where we were going to, I started as a liaison agent with Gordon Marketing, and we took those agents that went out in the field, and I said, let me show you how to help the rubber meet the road very quickly. As you know, you come out of any seminar and you go home and you set the notebook down, right, and pick it up for a month. It's going to be very hard to get going and get acclimated back to the concept again, okay? We very quickly want that agent going out and being able to write business. The first client that they ought to write business on is themselves, right? 5 reasons they ought to write it on themselves. Number one, they're going to get all their stumbles, fumbles, trips, and falls out of the way. They're going to be much more confident when they approach other clients, okay? The client is going to ask them if they have it, and they're going to get out of debt and pay themselves a commission. So their best client to start with is themselves, okay? Then we want to go out and we have this quick start program, which is an apprenticeship program for 5 or 6 cases where we go out and we slowly infuse them into all aspects of the product so that by the 5th or 6th sale, they know how to upload the software. They know how to generate the report. They know how to find the money. They don't leave any money.
So getting personally escorted through the process.
Absolutely.
Well, to me, this is a huge issue. Getting in front of more people is the name of our game. I just opened up a complete audience that we've been really neglecting and ignoring. This, to me, is a huge blockbuster for my practice and building my business. Listen, don't forget to watch our next segment on debt, taxes, and the money opportunity cost, which I definitely want to talk to Paul about that. Part 5 in our series on your family bank. And keep in mind, before moving forward with any of the ideas on our show, always check with your tax consultant, legal counsel, or your compliance officer. And don't forget, you can subscribe to my consumer show, Steve Savant's Money, the Name of the Game, daily content that you can post on your website, social media accounts, and database distribution. I'm Steve Savant. Thanks for watching.